It's been exactly 8 weeks since my meniscus surgery. Well, 2 months and 1 day. And I just want to give you an update and recap kind of how my recovery has been going, what I've been doing for recovery, what has been working, what has not been working, and how the healing process has been and what I can now do and maybe still not do, with my knee.
Welcome to the Primal Shift podcast.
To recap a little bit, in case you haven't seen any of my previous recordings about the injury, I had meniscus surgery on October 7th. Today is December 8th, so exactly 2 months and 1 day. And it was a partial meniscus removal that I did. So I had two tears in my meniscus. I had a complex tear and a flap tear, whatever they called it. And so they had to go in with arthroscopy, basically with they made two tiny incisions on each side of the knee, inserted a camera, inserted the surgical instruments, and then cut away the damaged flap of that meniscus that would not have healed by itself because it wasn't it wasn't tissue that was supplied with blood, and that's why it wouldn't have healed. So the only thing they could do is cut it away. As part of that surgery, they also discovered that I have a little bit of osteoarthritis, meaning a worn down cartilage tissue from some of the things that I did in the past that were probably less than ideal, like doing jumping squats with 350 pounds or running on asphalt with a weighted vest and many, many other things that I just did in the past because I thought I could and because it didn't hurt, but I guess I paid the price eventually. And so that's what they did. What they kind of ignored as part of the surgery was my split tear of the MCL, because I had that as well. And I know from sessions with my PT up front already that it might take half a year to a year to get fully back, to make, allow that split tear to heal fully and to be fully operational. But they kind of, meaning the surgeon, kind of ignored all of that. They didn't talk about it. Initially, they did and said, there's nothing we can do, let it heal. But that was pretty much it. It was then from that point on kind of ignored as part of my recovery, or, recommendations of what I should and shouldn't be doing, and maybe supplementation, all of that. So I was kind of on my own with that. And the healing process started out fairly well. I could walk within, or I did walk within, well, on the same day, really. I walked out of surgery and kept walking, the dog on day one. A week later, I started doing CrossFit, obviously modified a little bit. Then, in the 10-day mark or so, I squatted already, not super heavy, but 225-pound front squats and back squats. It's like 50% of my one rep max, but nonetheless, it's, it is extra weight. And all of that I could do. I could then jump, I could jog and run. Not that I would go out and run for half an hour or so, but just as part of my CrossFit routine, running back and forth, kind of explosive movements, short sprints, etc. All of the things I could do. But I wasn't in pain at all. I never had any pain, but I could feel then some tightness in my knee. And that lasted for, I want to say, at least 4 weeks, maybe even a little bit longer.
We have to interrupt this episode for an important message from your feet. They've had enough of being cramped into traditional shoes. Regular shoes can wreck your back, joints, and overall foot health by squeezing your toes and disconnecting you from the ground. That's why I switched to Beluva minimalist shoes, and the difference has been incredible. These shoes give me a perfect, natural connection to the ground, whether I'm walking, sprinting, or lifting heavy. My back pain disappeared, my athletic performance has improved dramatically, and they are comfortable enough to wear all day. Plus, my toes are finally pointing in the direction they're supposed to. Check them out at peluva.com and use code KUMMER for 15% off. That's PELUVA.com. And now back to the episode.
And I just kept ramping up my activity, let pain be my guidance, but since I didn't feel any pain, I just did as much as I thought would be reasonable without overdoing it. I never tried to find my threshold, my pain threshold, so to say, or where it would start hurting. So I can't really tell what I could have done, but what I did seemed to be working fine. And I was progressing. There was a time, I want to say, between maybe the 2 and 4 week mark where I felt the same. The knee felt the same. This little tightness, and that was probably because of the swelling. There was likely inflammation going on. There was probably some fluid buildup, just from the fact that A, it was an injury. It is an injury, and B, the incision that also had to heal. They dug around in there a little bit. I think they probably must have injected maybe saline or something to expand the area a little bit to get a better camera picture, and so all of that left its mark. And I thought, well, it's not healing as quickly as I would like. And then there was a point, and that was as we're getting closer to moving. And if you've been following us on the Kummer Homestead channel, then you probably know that we just recently moved to a larger property with all of our animals, and we did all of the move by ourselves, basically. Yes, with help from friends and family, but we didn't hire anyone to help us move. And there was a lot of moving heavy stuff, cold plunges, saunas, feed barrels. There was a lot of moving and lifting and dragging and carrying and pulling and all of those things going on. And we were incredibly busy. It was a super stressful time. And to be quite honest, I kind of forgot about my knee a little bit, and also about the recovery routine that I had implemented with red light therapy, with neurostimulation, with supplementation, with massages, all of the things that helped me in the beginning to get better relatively quickly. During the move, I put on the back burner. I didn't really do much anymore. And, then the move was complete, more or less. We moved the bulk of our inventory and the animals and everything, and I had completely forgotten about my knee. I didn't do any recovery anymore. I didn't do the red light anymore. I didn't pay much attention to supplementation. I just was spinning in a wheel trying to get the move completed. And then I saw a comment on I think a reel on Instagram where I talked about red light therapy and how it has helped me recover from my knee surgery. And that guy said, "Huh, yeah, right. I want to see you sprint." And I'm like, that kind of made me think of my knee again. And I'm like, I haven't felt my knee. I haven't paid attention to my knee. I didn't even remember that I had a surgery or problem. So I went outside and I went down. We have 45 acres or so, and it's kind of a winding pasture with some slight hills and up and downs, etc. And I walked down, and it was freezing cold. The wind was blowing, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna run back. And so I sprinted up the hill as fast as I could in my boots. So it was not a 100-meter track sprint, but I was going as fast as I possibly could. And I, once I was up the hill, it was maybe 150 meters or so. I stopped, and I paid attention to my knee, and I felt nothing. I'm like, you should have seen me sprint. I actually, I recovered. And so this was for me a mental clue, so to say, to pay more attention to how does my knee feel when I do all of the things that I do. As I said, there is a lot of heavy lifting and pulling chicken tractors and pushing saunas and all of the things that we've been doing and that we are still doing because we're still not completely finished. And I noticed that all the forward and back motions, I feel absolutely nothing. I can run, I can jump up and down, I can jump left to right. None of that bothers me, which is an indication that the meniscus itself has healed fairly well. There is no pain, no discomfort. What I can still feel, and that I think goes back to my MCL, is rotational movements under pressure. So, for example, if I lift up a heavy feed barrel and turn to the side, and my knee kind of has this, is exposed to this torque, to this rotation, I don't feel pain, but I feel still a little tight in there. And again, talking to my PT, that's likely the MCL that has not fully healed yet. And I was told in the beginning, and that was maybe 3-4 months ago, that it'll take half a year, likely up to a year, to fully heal, and where I would be back 100%. And so, that is the only thing that's left that I can still tell that's not 100% yet, but I'm super happy that I can run, that I can jump, especially jumping up, those explosive type of movements that I really enjoy doing, as part of my exercise routine, as well as, just daily life. Whenever I have a chance to jump up, I do that. And so that's working perfectly. Running and sprinting again works. That was really one of the concerns that I had, because I want to go back to sprinting a little bit. And I have not been doing this really in a long time, other than, during CrossFit. But now that we live out in the sticks, there's no CrossFit box nearby. So I have to find alternative ways of getting my workouts in, and lifting heavy stuff and sprinting and jumping. It's just some of the things that I can do, that come naturally as part of our lifestyle. And so I'm glad I can do that again. But now that I've been thinking about, my knee a little bit more, and remember that I actually did have surgery 8 weeks ago, I will likely go back to some of those routines, maybe not as strict, maybe not twice a day, but at least at night when I sit on the couch, I put on the kidney and I do maybe some of the neurostimulation again to work on the scar tissue that is probably still going to be there, or, in the process of maybe building as things fully heal up. And, to make sure there is enough blood supply. There is, that whole osteoarthritis means there is cartilage tissue worn down, and in particular, red light therapy. Laser-based red light therapy, photobiomodulation, has been shown to tilt the balance of cartilage tissue creation and degradation. So you can actually regrow cartilage tissue very slowly, not by doing something, because red light does something magic, but it just allows the body to build as much as it naturally would be able to, and keep the inflammation down, so the degradation is less than what the body is capable of rebuilding. And so that's what I'll keep doing, in the hopes that I can get some of that cartilage tissue back. There is still plenty of cartilage tissue there, but I obviously want to be now more mindful that I don't degrade even more by doing things that are, like jumping down from heights, or running with weighted vests, or doing jumping squats, and kind of those things that, stress the joints maybe more than what I'm capable of handling. And so, that's it. Overall, I'm super happy. It got to a point where I did not even think about my knee. I didn't even think about that I had surgery. And so that's, I think, is a sign that I'm back on track. Maybe not 100% yet, but I'm almost there. And if it wasn't for the MCL, I would probably be back at 100% already. And I'm super happy about this. All of the things that I've done seem to be working. I think lifestyle was also conducive, eating well, sleeping well, doing all the things well to allow the body to do what it can do, meaning recover and restore. The human body is incredible at doing that. We just need to be out of our own way sometimes by not inflicting more injury than necessary, and removing as much stress as possible, so that the body has the resources. And with that, we're going to wrap it up. Just want to give you that quick update and let you know that, the recovery routine I talked about in another video, we're going to link it down below, has been working. And so if you're in a similar situation, if you need to heal, recover, if you have an upcoming surgery maybe, then, maybe think about some of the things that I discussed, and that might help you as well to get back into action quicker and to be as pain-free as you can. With that, we're going to wrap it up. Share this episode with someone who could use it. Like it, subscribe if you're watching this somewhere where you can, or leave a comment if you're watching this on YouTube. Until next time.